It's Halloween and I'm here to bring you some spookily great deals, and of course I'm doing some smartphones today, and I have with me first the ASUS X550. Now in the spirit of Halloween, we're dropping these prices down to scarily low prices, and I hope that you guys will give this one a great look because I've taken a great look at this smartphone for about the past 3 days, and I like what ASUS is trying to do here with this X550 line. Now, if you've been following ASUS news, you know that they came out with a great phone called the Zenfone 2 earlier this year, and they're now kind of following that up with a much budget version of that. So you get something a little smaller at 5.5 inches, and it's also thinner and lighter because of the material that's being used. So one thing I like about this phone is that you do get that gold magnesium kind of metal accent on the sides and also on the front speaker grills and also the microphone grills and also the labeling for the brand in the front. But you get this nice soft plastic in the back, and I like how that feels because it gives you kind of a nice firm grip actually when you're using this phone, which is something that I don't like in the all metal backing that's used in other phones. So I like the pairing here and what ASUS is trying to do, and of course that's going to bring down the price because of the materials that's being used. Just going a little bit deeper into the box here, I just want to highlight that the charger that it comes with is a 1.35 milliampere charger, and what that means is that you get a little boosted in charging time. So for most phones it takes about 2 hours to 3 hours. I found that for charging this 3030 milliamp battery, it takes about 1 hour and 50 minutes to sometimes 2 hours depending on if I'm using the phone while I'm charging. So I like that they included that here, but there's not too much else included other than the cables and the instruction manual. And of course, I don't think you need the instruction manual now for a smartphone. So what makes the ASUS great? Well, if you take a look at the spec sheet, a couple of things jump out at you, which is one, the price and what you're getting for at that price. And so what are you getting in this price? You're getting a nice 1080p screen, and I like how the colors kind of pop on this screen compared to maybe the OnePlus 2, which I've used and tested heavily as well. So I like what they've done with the colors here, and the screen and the glass work really well to bring the Android 5.1 to life. And so you're also getting a 3 gigabytes of RAM, and on this version, this is the advanced version, I have 32 gigabytes of memory on board as well. But if you need to take this to the next level by using an SD card, you do have the option with this removable backing. And the removable backing is, well, it's nice because you're able to kind of go into the inside and kind of dig into the SIM cards on both sides. So you do get dual SIM here, micro SD in the front. But the battery, however, is not easily removable because there is an encasing here. So, for those who are looking for that and that's a non-negotiable for you, this phone probably is not what you're looking for. So, you don't get that option here. And part of that reason why they didn't include that is because they want to keep the phone as slim as possible. And if you have that integrated directly to the chip and just kind of attached to the whole system, you're able to slim down just a fraction of a centimeter, and that's just enough to make this phone feel great and light in your hands. So what I want to really highlight here is their own UI. Now, I do want to have a caveat here. Now, I've used this phone just fresh out of the box. I haven't installed too many apps on here, and just from playing around, actually the phone, there is a little bit of a stuttering or judder when you're going through many apps, okay? So I don't know what exactly, because I've used 3 GB Android phones before running 5.1, and they don't have that problem, but for this phone, there is that kind of issue, okay? So if that's a deal breaker for you, you probably want to look at something a little bit higher budget price range, because for this price you're gonna have to give some leeway and there's gonna be some performance drops that you're gonna experience. But what you don't experience a performance drop in is the camera, and so you get a nice 3 a 13 megapixel, not 3 megapixel, 13 megapixel camera on the back, and on the front you do get a 5 megapixel on the front. And so you do get nice, great, very crispy and high contrast, overly saturated colors on here. And so for those of you guys who don't like to do too much photo editing when you're posting on Instagram and stuff like that, this is gonna take great pictures for you because you're gonna get that oversaturation in color. So colors are gonna pop. It's extra sharp, so things on focus just greatly stands out. But what really makes this a great phone and a great camera package is that it's doing all that and it's snappy quick. So I just like how, you know, just pictures just take right away and you're able to post that to Instagram. And so that's kind of the camera experience that you can expect from this device. So, you know, is this a smartphone for everybody? This is definitely not a smartphone for everybody, okay? If you can spare $50 to about $75 more, there are a lot greater options available at GearBest that give you a much better whole smartphone experience. But if you're limited on your budget and you do want a nice, great looking phone, because again, you know, just by looking at this phone, you don't think this is a budget smartphone, especially with the gold accent and the white glass on here, and it just feels really great to the touch. And of course, you don't have any physical home buttons, so there's no buttons here, so everything is on board. And so if that is also something that you like on your phones, you like onboard buttons, then this phone and this whole package and the design is something that could probably fit you. Okay, so I would recommend this to those of you guys who are shopping on a budget. And I know we're getting towards you know, the holiday season, and you're looking for gifts for, you know, you don't have that much money to spare for everybody. But this phone is something that will impress those if they're into design and into cameras, and they're not too much into the whole, you know, gaming or doing video or photo editing as well. So this is a recommended buy for those of you out there who are into that stuff. Check us out on GearBest for other great smartphones, and I'll be sure to bring back a little bit more higher quality products coming up. But this ASUS is great for what it does. Thanks, guys.